Hey guys, welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining me on the Sports with Life podcast, episode number 45. The Jordan Return episode of the Sports with Life podcast was episode 7 of The Last Dance, which ironically, old Uncle Edgar did a video on, which came out this morning, actually, early this morning. So go ahead and check it out. I'll link it in the description below. If not, go to the youtube.com/sports plus life or just search sports plus life in the search bar. Hopefully you'll find me. But man, that was just a little bit of a highlight of my weekend. Best part was sports were officially back with the UFC 249 going on and on Saturday, and it did not disappoint. What an amazing card. Top to bottom. Just nonstop action. Just great. It was all around just an amazing show. UFC 249 delivered and then some. Dana White, hats off to Dana White, lifer here, Sports Plus Life podcast. Pulled off, the unthinkable and did it amazingly. The unfortunate part is the only, blemish of the whole weekend was Ronaldo Jacare Souza tested positive for COVID-19. And his fight with Uriah Hall got scrapped. But he was the only one that tested positive out of the, So 24 fighters. So 23 out of 24 did not test for COVID-19. Everyone got tested, and he was the only one that tested positive, unfortunately. I don't know exactly how it worked out. I don't know if he had to be quarantined. It looks like they all had their own rooms, their own hotels or whatever, their own spaces. And for the most part, it looks like it worked all weekend. The fight happened in Jacksonville. Jacare lives in Orlando, so not too far. So my assumption is that he's home. He's doing okay, I guess. Haven't heard anything else other than that. Because his card was just that good. It was just unbelievably good. We have so much to talk about too, so let's go from the bottom to the top. Not only UFC going on this weekend though. First, what else happened this weekend? Last Dance happened this weekend. Money in the Bank WWE happened this weekend, and then also the Undertaker documentary. I think it's called The Dead Man. I don't remember exactly what it's called. On the WWE Network popped up, and I didn't even watch it. It happened last night. Watched The Last Dance, recorded the baby podcast of The Last Dance. So still have yet to watch that. So hopefully tonight, maybe tomorrow, I'll watch the documentary. But I mean, it's a very special documentary because you're talking about The Undertaker. The Undertaker has been, for the longest time, one of the most secretive just individuals. I mean, not a whole lot of background cameras, that follow him up until just recently. Been around for 30 years, I believe. Has been in the WWE, something crazy like that. It's it's definitely something I want to watch. I mean, we all know the Undertaker. Everyone got scared of. Everyone was, especially kids. A lot of kids were scared of the Undertaker. I never forget. Me, my brother, I think my cousin. Thanksgiving time, we called the WWE hotline, and we got the Undertaker and Paul Bearer. It was so cool, but my parents were pissed because they got a big ass bill. Because it was like $1.99 a minute, $2.99, something stupid like that. And yeah, we got in trouble for it. But we got to talk to the Undertaker and the whole Ultimate Warrior, and I can't remember who else it was. I think it was Bret Hart was the other one. You guys remember that? Like, cost $1.99 a minute. I know a lot of you creeps used to call like those sex hotlines at $1.99, $2, $5 a minute. We called, the WWE hotline. I'll never forget that. It was pretty funny. The only reason I remember that is because someone else brought it up on a show, and I can't remember. It was a different podcast. I think it was. Yeah, I don't remember what it was. It may have been The Fighter and the Kid because that's usually what I listen to. But yeah, that's what's popping off. A lot of stuff slowly coming back. Obviously, baseball came back in South Korea last week. They also announced today that the English government announced that today, after June 1st, English Premier League can return, which is like, just the heavens are open up, angels are singing in my ear. It's amazing. But Bundesliga will start back up. The German Bundesliga, Germany Premier League, or just to kind of put it in your guys' terms, German, the best league in Germany. One of the top tier. Well, I've always said this before, and you can even go back check the Sports Plus Life podcast. I always said the German Bundesliga is second to the Premier League. So those are the top two leagues that I'm excited, and it looks like they're on their way back. German, obviously behind closed doors, so no fans, but yeah, we'll talk about that in the next Sports Plus Live podcast, episode number 46. When the time is ready, when it's time to talk about that, we're going to talk about it. But now it's time to talk about UFC 249. To start out with, I was excited. Smiling Sam Alvey versus Ryan Spann. Smiling Sam Alvey moved up to 205 pounds. Usually fights at middleweight. Tough dude, and he proved to be tough as well. It was a good fight. They're going back and forth. Not a whole lot of takedowns. Sam Alvey's a sneaky, tough dude. You look at him, man. He's a nice dude. He's always smiling. They call him Smiling Sam Alvey for a reason, but he's a vicious dude. He can knock you out if he wants to, and if he'll put you to sleep. And Ryan Spann, just as tough as dude, he was up to the challenge as well. And Ryan Spann ended up winning by decision. Big dude Ryan Spann is. So he took a lot of good shots too. Was eating that right hand from Sam Alvey, but Ryan Spann was throwing some really good combos and was landing pretty good too. Split decision, so it was right down the pipe. The decisions that happened, there were some that were questionable. I'm a multitask here because I can't see out of my damn glasses. I don't even know why I'm putting my glasses on, but I have to because I can't see you guys. But it doesn't matter. Just mind your business. Some of the decisions were a little bit questionable. Some were just spot on. Like the second card, Bryce Mitchell versus Charlie Rosa. Bryce Mitchell probably put on the most dominant performance of the night. Just a jiu-jitsu masterclass. And I've never seen someone attempt the twister as many times as he did in the fight. He almost had it. I think the end of the second round, I think he lost time and he would have had that twister. If you guys don't know what a twister is, I'll try to link it below if I remember. But look it up. Twister. 10th Planet Twister. Eddie Bravo, the mastermind behind 10th Planet, the mastermind behind the Twister. That shit hurts. Someone, a friend of mine who does train 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, is trained with Eddie Bravo, Tony Ferguson, who we talked about in the same room. I don't know if he trained with him, but he's done some rounds with Eddie Bravo. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't feel good at all. It hurts. It doesn't feel good at all. It just contorts. I don't know how to explain it. Plus the difficulty of putting on that submission in a fight. It's only been done once before, and that was by Korean Zombie. And Bryce Mitchell did it last fight. I think that was on the McGregor card, if I'm not mistaken. I have to look it up. Actually, I'm going to look it up right now because he's right in front of me. No, that was Overeem Rosenstruck. Okay. So that was back in December. So yeah, the other one was November-ish, I think so. Dude, it's tough to pull off. You ever see that? I can't even explain. I'm not even going to try to attempt to explain how you put it on, especially if you're listening to me on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or if you just listen to me. Even if you're watching me, there's no way for me to explain it because I don't know how to do it. I kind of know, but I can't demonstrate it right now on this desk in front of this mic. Yeah, Bryce Mitchell put on a grappling masterclass. It was beautiful. And usually grappling matches like that, just wrestling or jiu-jitsu matches like that are very boring. But Bryce Mitchell was to the ball. Balls to the wall from the opening bell to the closing bell in each round. he was all over Charlie Rosa. Charlie Rosa, as a black belt himself, no pushover, looked like a white belt. Guys, let me go back. White belts, are the beginners. White belts, blue belts, purple belts, brown belts, black belts. And they all have different stripes, so different levels in between each belt. And black belt, I think the highest one you can get is coral belt, if I'm not mistaken. And Bryce Mitchell made him look average. It was ridiculous. But I give props to Charlie Rosa. Charlie Rosa got out of, I think, 3 or 4 different arm and head chokes, which you've seen here. I've linked it before on these YouTube channels before. Charlie Rosa defended very, very well. That's why he didn't get beat. That's why he didn't get beat by submission. He did lose the fight, but it was very, very dominant grappling masterclass by Bryce Mitchell. It was very, very cool. I enjoyed that fight very well, especially on both sides of the ball. The defense, the offense, determination on both guys. It was very entertaining. You don't really even see that in high level like jiu-jitsu matches. Like Submission Underground, which is still going on. Metamoris. What's the one? The 10th Planet one. The one that the one that Eddie Bravo puts on an edge. I can't remember for the life of me. Is it Metamoris? No. I can't remember. I should know, but I don't know, and that's going to get me in trouble. Now, the Vicente Luque versus Nico Price fight started off the preliminary card on ESPN. Now, I missed this. I didn't miss all of it. I caught the end of it. I caught the finish. So I had to watch the replay and go back and actually watch the full fight. But what it looked like, Vicente Luque was putting on. By the way, if you guys are wondering what I was doing, I went to go get food. I'm not going to tell you what kind of food because you guys are going to yell at me. I went to go get food. And I don't know why. I don't know what it has been lately. But people are always going to the same fucking place I'm going. Taking up all my space. Taking up all my time. At the same fucking time I want to go there. It happened last week. When I went to go get breakfast burritos last weekend. Friday, and Saturday. And then Saturday again that night, I went to go get food. And people were all up in my grill there. Apparently it was Mother's Day and people were getting presents, blah, 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 whatever. Sunday, grocery stores ridiculously packed, obviously because of Mother's Day. It's just getting annoying. Show up in this damn country up already. Go back to regular times. I'm an early person. A lot of these places don't open up until like 7 o'clock now. Like especially groceries. I go to work at 6. I'm an early person. I wake up early. I go get shit done before all the other people do. And it's just so annoying. Maybe it's my age. Maybe because I'm getting older. A lot of people annoy the shit out of me. I don't know what it is. But anyways, that's what I was doing. But Vicente Luque looked like he was doing work. Dropped Nico Price a lot of times. Nico's a tough dude. He wanted to continue. But his eye was he was just cut up. It looks like he had like 40, 50 stitches in his face alone. And I said this was going to be a very violent fight, very good fight. And it was. But here's what it is. Got stopped in the 3rd round. Doctor stoppage. Nico Price is a crazy man. Vicente Luque is for real, man. So keep your eye out on Vicente Luque at welterweight division. Carlos Bauer versus Michelle Waterson was kind of like, I wouldn't say boring. It definitely was it was action, but it wasn't the type of action that we were very, very spoiled. The way we started out the first 2 fights, the Nico Price fight, and then we got into this one, which is like a grappler versus striker. Wow, I can't talk. Grappler versus striker. So it was a little bit more standoffish. Carlos Bauer won by decision, split decision. I believe is what it was. Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't to knock my socks off. But the next fight was pretty crazy. I didn't see it going the way it did. Alexei Olenek versus Fabricio Verdum. Fabricio Verdum, if you don't remember on the last Sports Plus Live podcast, returning from suspension after 2 years. PEDs looked like shit too, by the way. He did not look good. Not like in the sense that he didn't fight well, but in the sense that he looked old. Like he had a stomach. He looked flabby. Like it was just really, really weird to see him that way. But he fought Alexei Olenek, who looked shredded for 43 years old. I think 43. Let me see. How old is Alexei? the hell's his birthday? 42 years old. He started fighting his first professional fight, 1996. You know who was president then? Bill Clinton. His first professional fight. All happened in one night, by the way. He won a tournament. 3 fights in one night. He won a tournament. His first professional. Dude, that is ridiculous. Hold on, let me see who he's fought in. He's fought a lot in Ukraine. Let's see, he's fought anyone. He lost to Chael Sonnen and Bodog, and that was the decision. I'm sure Chael Sonnen sat on him. Take a look, see if he fought Christian Tuchner. You guys remember that? Lost the decision to him. Holy shit. Christian Tuchner looks like Barty Rubble. Got it. Yeah, I remember that guy. Hold on. Let me take a look. Fought a lot of M1s. I remember that. Jesse Gibbs, Thiago Dos Santos. He beat Thiago Dos Santos. Thiago Dos Santos is the guy, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not him. Might be something different. Mike Hayes beaten and lost to Neil Grove. He's a lot of lost to Jeff Munson. Holy shit. Tony Lopez. You guys remember Tony Lopez? Bang. He beat Tony Lopez. This is 2013. Holy shit. This was 7 years ago. Jeff Munson beat him, returned him. He beat Mikro Krokop by submission in 2013. Beat Jared Rosholt. 2014 in UFC. Beat Travis Brown by submission, a neck crank. Lost to Curtis Blades. Beat Mark Hunt. Lost to Overeem and Walt Harris. Dude, this guy has been fighting since 96. That's, I did my math right. 25 years ago. 24 years ago. So he was, if I'm doing my math, 24, 18. Who was 18 when he started fighting? 24 years ago. Holy shit, I didn't know that. I didn't do my homework, guys. That's unbelievable. 42 years old, still fighting. And you look good. Came out on fire that first round. Came out and was just landing these shots. The fact that Mauricio Verdum stood and took these shots and survived the first round of that fight, I couldn't believe it. I was like, why? How is he not going down? How is he didn't go down? He was eating so many shots. Alexi came at him. Second round was a little bit more split down the middle. Third round, I think, went to Verdum. 42 years old, and he's still banging like that. Great fight. Alexi Olenek took the split decision. I thought it would have gone Verdum's way, but hey, what are you going to do? That's life. That's Florida for you. What a fight. It was just crazy. Alexi Olenek, 42 years old, started in 1996 when Bill Clinton was in. So there's been Bill Clinton, there's been George W., Barack Obama, and now Donald Trump. He's fought in like four different presidencies. Think about that. To round out the preliminary card, another banger. Anthony Pettis versus Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Great fight, man. They went back and forth. They lived up to the expectation. Anthony Pettis took the W. I thought it was right. It was a close decision. I like Cowboy try. I thought they would have scored Cowboys takedowns a little bit differently, but they didn't. But I think it was right. Everything was correct in the end. I don't think Cowboy really did anything with those takedowns. So, but great fight, man. And I'm glad to see Cowboy looked good. I mean, he finished the fight. Didn't get finished. He did eat some couple good shots. Did get rocked once. He didn't get dropped, but he got rocked pretty good. Towards the end, they were fighting, man. This was a scrap. Pettis got away with him and poked him in the eye towards the end of that. I think the third round or second round, I can't remember. He got away with it. But nonetheless, great fight. Start off the hell is up with my glasses? To start off the main card, Greg Hardy versus Yorgan De Castro. Weird fight, man. Yorgan De Castro came out fighting very, very well. Won the first round, I believe it. We'll talk about that here in a second. But then I think he threw a kick and he broke something on his foot and wasn't moving right ever since. And Greg Hardy took advantage of it. Greg Hardy fought a good fight, man. But Jurgen Krasher hurt himself somehow. Lost the decision, unanimous decision, which I didn't agree with him. I mean, I don't know if I agreed with it, but they gave it, not that I don't agree with the decision, it's that they gave it 30-27. It should have been 29-28. The Krasher won that first round easily. I don't know what the fuck these guys are watching, but it is what it is. Now, the next 4 fights were all finishes. The last 4 fights were all finishes. And any of these could have won knockout of the night. Easily. Any of these could have won knockout of the night. Calvin Kattar versus Jeremy Stephens. They were banging, man. They were in there banging, and there was a punch that not landed, but Calvin Kattar threw at the end of the first round, and I was like, dude, if that lands, he's gonna knock Jeremy Stephens out. He throws what I thought was the same punch and knocks Jeremy Stephens out on his back, and then on the ground throws a punch and then 2 or 3 more elbows that cut Stephens like bad on his forehead, just bad. In slow motion, in instant replay, it was an elbow, just a short. I thought it was a right, but it was a boom right to his grill that just drops him, finishes the fight on the ground. I told you guys, man. Kattar is nasty. I wouldn't mind seeing Kattar against Yair Rodriguez, Korean Zombie, Brian Ortega, just to name a few. I would love to see Kattar against those type of guys. And I think that's what's next for him. Those top 3 guys is what you'll see. Maybe even a touchy-feely. I'm trying to say his name right. That's his nickname, Touchy-Feely. Andre Feely. Andre Feely is another good fight. So we'll see how this shit goes. Doohoo Choi, Cub Swanson is still there. 145 pounds if he ever comes back. So a lot of great fights still 145 pounds. And we'll see how that goes. But, dude, the guy's legit. Guy's been around for a long time, and he shows he's legit. He's the real deal. So you got to look out for him 145 pounds. Now the next fight, Francis Ngannou versus Jorginho Biggie Boy Rosenstruck. The face-off lasted longer than the fight. They came out fighting. You could easily tell what Rosenstruck's game plan was because he came out, threw a jab, throws leg kicks. He was trying to keep a distance for a little bit and probably lay a banger. But for Francis was like, nope. Bum rushed him, landed a punch, dropped him, and landed 2 more against the cage and knocked him out cold. And I mean cold. He was out for a few minutes. It was a bad knockout. And it was even worse because there was nobody there. You heard every thud. You heard it all. It was freaky scary. It was just scary. Imagine that guy coming at you. How tall is this fucker? Francis Ngannou, what, 6'5"? 6'6", maybe? 6'4". 6'4", 60 pounds. I think he ended up weighing in about 261, I believe. Just chiseled. Imagine that guy coming at you. Now, I'm 6'2", I think. I got to go remeasure myself. 6'2", I think. They give me 6'2". So, I think that's what I've always wanted to look like when I was a kid. 6'4", 6'5", 265 pounds. I've always wanted to be that chiseled. I always want to be Francis Ngannou, but obviously lighter complected. Man, that guy was scary. It was a scary knockout. But who's next for someone like Francis Ngannou? Francis Ngannou, I think you got to give him a title shot. Stephen Miocic doesn't know what he wants to do. He wants to fight, but he doesn't know when. He doesn't want to sign the bottom line. He wants to go out there and fight COVID-19 as a firefighter. I get it, man. I get that you want to do good in your life. But what's paying the bills? What is paying the bills? When this is all said and done, what's going to pay the bills? You have 2 kids. I think one on the way. You have one already born daughter. You have your wife. You have your family. What's paying your bills? Modelo's still giving you checks for sponsorship, but it's fighting. DC's always said he wants to fight one more fight. That's going to be, next one's going to be his last one. It's got to be for the title and nothing else. and he wants to fight, obviously, Stipe Miocic, get the rematch, the rubber match. It makes sense. Stipe doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to do it now. He wants to wait. He wants to wait, see how this whole. He wants to do good. I get it, but being a firefighter, man, a volunteer firefighter at that, and paying the bills. Definitely you have sponsorship. You have this. You have that. Sure. But what pays the bills and what's going to give you the big money is going to be this fight. You take out Daniel Cormier, you're probably known as the best heavyweight ever. I think he has to do that. If that doesn't happen, then you're looking at Daniel Cormier versus Francis Ngannou. And Stipe Miocic already beat Francis Ngannou. It was a good fight. It was a good boxing match. Stipe Miocic kept his distance, knew how to fight, already fought him. Daniel Cormier is going to have a little bit of a problem because Daniel Cormier is like 5'10", 5'11", at heavyweight, 220 pounds or something like that. Getting that reach in. I mean, Daniel Cormier can knock people out. He's older now. But Francis Ngannou is a different monster. Now, this version of Francis Ngannou, could he beat Stipe Miocic? Who knows? I don't know. There's not really anything else other than one of those two fights for Francis Ngannou. So, it's going to be a championship or bust, I guess. I mean, there's no way you deny him a championship match somehow. Intermatch of that. So we'll see. We'll see how everything plays out. Francis Ngannou came back, fought. Shout out to Rosa Street for taking the fight. But yeah, we'll see where everything goes. Now the next fight, Henry Cejudo versus Dominick Cruz was a pretty good fight. Henry Cejudo fought a very, very good fight. Very good fight. Had a great game plan and was executing it very well. Henry Cejudo came to fight, man. And I think if I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken. I think if he goes in the first few rounds, that it was going to go to Henry Cejudo, and it's exactly what happened. Ended up finishing the fight in the second round, which we'll get to the finish here in a second. But Henry Cejudo fought well, man. Throwing good leg kicks, throwing good punches. You could tell Dominick Cruz missing a little bit of a step. Wasn't able to time Henry Cejudo's kicks, leg kicks. Henry Cejudo was hitting him very, very hard. And with those kicks. And it was just perfect. The plan was perfection. Going in the second round, I think Dominick Cruz finally started getting a feel, started moving around, started peppering Cejudo a little bit. And then I think what happened, there was a break in the fight because I think Cejudo got kicked in the balls. And then he kind of brushed it off a little bit, got back in there, and then a few seconds later, just Dominick Cruz ducked. Henry Cejudo threw a knee and just drops Dominick Cruz right in the ground. Cejudo just lays on top. Boom, boom, starts punching him. I think he got 11 unanswered shots, and then the referee stopped the fight. Dominick Cruz is pissed because he was getting up to, he wasn't really defending himself, but he was on his way of getting back up. Now, in that fight, on the moment, I thought that it was a good stoppage. You had to err on the side of caution. He was getting up, but he wasn't defending any shots. And he kept getting up against the cage. Henry Cejudo probably would have landed a good one, dropped him anyways. Because the first few dropped him, hit him with the knee, dropped him, and he got back up, started getting back up. Henry Cejudo dropped him again. I thought it was a good stoppage. Looked at the replay, still thought it was a good stoppage. I'm with I think it's Keith Peterson here in this fight. Which his name will get brought up here soon, but I thought it was a good stoppage. Henry Cejudo deserved that win, and he got it. And then got the win, defended the title against the best bantamweight, goes down as probably the best bantamweight. One of the best flyweights. He will never be able to be Demetrius Johnson unless he fights him again. And then after he retired, got his W, goes out on top and gets a retirement, has his girl now. They want to start a family. He also said he wants to get into real estate. So you think about it. I think it all makes sense. Henry Cejudo wrestled since he was 11. And he's always wrestled at the highest level. Olympic gold medal winner. Flyweight champion, bantamweight champion. I think he even won the LFA championship, if I'm not mistaken. It all makes sense. It just makes sense for him to do that. I mean, I think if there's one fight that'll bring him back, it'd probably be the third fight with Demetrius Johnson. I think Demetrius Johnson ends his contract at ONE FC and says, "Hey Henry, what are you doing?" Or they even fight at ONE FC. You and I have unfinished business. I finished you. You didn't finish me. We got beef. We got smoke. I think that's one fight he'll come back for. I think for sure that's one fight he'll come back for. I don't think there's any other fight that would bring him out of retirement. If I were him, I wouldn't take any other fight. You already beat Dominic Cruz. You already beat TJ Dillashaw. You knocked him out. You knocked out a cheating TJ Dillashaw. We'll see. We'll see if this sticks. Everyone, right away, people are like, "Oh, this is a great contract we're getting renegotiation tool and shit like that." Who knows? Maybe it's a ploy. Maybe it's to get more money. Because he did. He said that I want to get more money, but he's also voiced his interest in retiring all week too. He's kind of hinting at it all week, and we'll see. He also talked about going back to go wrestle and maybe go back to the Olympics, and he said he could be he could make the team and win another gold medal. Is what he was saying. I believe him. I don't know if he wants to do that again, but once he gets a taste of this freedom, all this good food, you know what I'm saying? Getting some of that Il Nana, which is old school for getting some of that booty. You know what I'm saying? Getting on the regular. Not training. Training his injury. He's getting cut. He's getting that cut. He's getting that cut. We'll see. When Dominic Cruz, though, after the fight, obviously very upset. He felt he was still in the fight. He was eating some shots. I didn't think a lot of them were big shots, but that first one looked pretty bad, and then he didn't answer a whole lot of all of them after that. He went on to say, definitely did not agree with the stoppage. Told the referee that, don't, let me go out. Don't stop the fight. Which I get it, but the referee has his job to do, and I think he fulfilled his job. I think he did what he's supposed to do. I also do think that in a championship fight, you have to let him go. You have to let him go out like that, man. I think you have to. Especially in an MMA fight. There's so many different ways to win. I get it. In boxing, yeah, make that stoppage. Probably even make that stoppage, just like the Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder fight, where Deontay Wilder was taking a beating. His corner threw that towel in. It's different, man. You're getting repeatedly hit in the head, where all the other fights, get kicked in the body. But yeah, this time was definitely different shots to the head, but not all, were direct. These are little pecks, But I get it. I understand the stoppage. But after that, Dominic Cruz was accusing Keith Peterson of smelling like cigarettes and alcohol. I don't know if that was rage. I thought it was probably a little uncalled for. Seemed very, very petty. I don't think anyone else said anything other than that. And if you go to Twitter, my Twitter feed, I think it's MRAKACO is where I posted it. But you can follow me on Twitter, MRAKACO, and Instagram, and then Sports Plus Life on Twitter and Instagram. Keith Peterson retweeted. The guy said, that was funny. Retweeted a picture of Dominic Cruz, kind of laid out, after the knee. And he was like, "This is me as a picture of me after drinking and smoking all night." Oh my God, I was laughing pretty hard this morning during the call. He's not afraid to clap back, and he clapped back. But that's what it is. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully, Dominic Cruz can get a quick return. Now with the belt up for grabs, maybe. There's a chance for him to get that belt back. Who knows? Maybe a chance to redeem himself. Maybe Dana White agreed with him, said stoppage a little early, but we'll see. There's a vacancy. You got Poirier in the wings. You got Poirier, Aljamain Sterling, definitely Dominic Cruz. I think you can throw him back in the mix. I don't know if they'll throw TJ Dillashaw right in the way of the mix when he comes back from suspension. I think it might be September, maybe January, December, something like that. But yeah, that's how the 135 championship fight, co-main event went down. But the main attraction of the weekend, and I mean not the night, the weekend, was Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it. It lived up to expectation and then some. It was violent. It was exciting. It was still kind of technical. It was, God, I don't even know. It was very, very emotional fight because you're sitting there. You got two very violent guys, and I think it was pretty cool the way Justin Gaethje was described by Joe Rogan on his podcast, on the JRE podcast. Joe Rogan said, in a sport where the sport is as violent as can be, Justin Gaethje stands out. And I couldn't agree more. Same thing with Tony Ferguson. I said this on the last Sports Plus Life podcast when we're reviewing this fights or previewing the fights. Tony Ferguson has a gas tank like none other. And he showed it. 4 rounds. He just kept coming. He even recovered from a couple knockdowns. Pretty big knockdowns. Justin Gaethje didn't want to capitalize on him, but rightfully so. Tony Ferguson recovered very, very quickly. Ultimately losing by stoppage in the 5th round, which I thought it was just. I thought it was a good stoppage. I think it ended up being like a minute left in the round. I can't remember. And the fight in general. And, man, Tony Ferguson fought that. I don't know when it happened, but broke his orbital bone at some point during the fight. I don't know when it was because that fifth round is when they stopped it, and then Justin Gaethje threw a jab that Tony Ferguson just couldn't shake. Tried shaking it off, but it was bad. His feet weren't under him. This Justin Gaethje 2.0, is a scary, scary individual because he hits hard. And the fact that Tony Ferguson stood there, if you sit there like there's no crowd, you could hear everything. The punches landing. Tony Ferguson wasn't reacting to most of them for about 3.5 rounds. He was just eating him, kept coming forward, blowing his nose, getting the blood out of his nose, clearing his head. I mean, it was a stand-up war, and Justin Gaethje was the most violent out of the two. And he ended up getting the stop. I've talked about this before. It takes a village. For all these athletes. You had his corner, Luke Caudillo, former UFC fighter, WWEC fighter. And then a master class, had his brothers, but also master coach is Trevor Whitman. Trevor Whitman, who's been a part of a bunch of different championship camps, George St. Pierre, Rashad Evans, Brendan, Cowboy Cerrone. Nate Marquardt was another one. Rosnau Eunice being another one. So he's breeded a lot of champions. This might be his best one yet. You guys don't know, Justin Gaethje, former champion in the World Series of Fighting, which is now known as a Fighters League, I believe, the PFL or Fighters League. I can't remember what it's called now. He put on exciting fights there, and this probably is the most exciting because it was such a joy. He didn't take a beat then. It didn't take a beating like he's used to. And I thought it was cool. And then what I was bringing up is getting into Trevor Whitman. In between rounds, he said, I think the first round, maybe second round. After the first or second round, he goes, because in the first round, he got Justin Gaethje got dropped. Ended up getting up, surviving. The second round, Trevor Whitman sits him down to go, hey, looks him dead in the eye, and goes, take 10% off your shots. Justin Gaethje was throwing haymakers, bombs. Take 10% off your shots. You're trying to kill him. Land good, clean shots. And that was just one of those adjustments that had to be made. And that goes to the coaching. I didn't hear much of the coaching in between rounds for Tony Ferguson. I know they did tell him, I think third round, maybe after third round, to start doing I think it's called the Uranagi, or I can't remember what it is, where you kind of dive at his feet and roll with it and try to go to leg lock, try to take him down. I think he tried it once and it didn't succeed very well. But it was in the fourth round when he's already beat up. But I think after the third round, Justin Gaethje's corner, Trevor Whitman, goes, hey, Do you remember what happened when you lost your last 2 fights? You were having too much fun. You did it twice. Let's relax. Let's keep our eye on the prize. Stop having fun. Let's get to work. There's two things that people don't see, people don't recognize, that makes champions. It's coaching. Just like I've talked about Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson has an understanding of his players. Trevor Whitman has an understanding of his fighter. He knows what it is. And Justin Gaethje said it perfectly after the fight. It was, I lost twice, but before that, we didn't have anything to fix. Because if it ain't fixed, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Lost twice, won to Dustin Poirier, which I believe was winning the fight, and then ended up getting caught, and Dustin Poirier being, the veteran he is, finished the fight. Same thing with Eddie Alvarez as well. Just being a veteran, you just kind of see these things. You've been in those things, especially those two guys, been in wars. It was just, overall a great experience. And I think Justin Gaethje, out of anybody on this card, benefited from that fight getting canceled last month. He took that fight on, I think, a week or 2 weeks notice. And then to get an extra 4 weeks almost to train. And they prepare and got the job done. It speaks a lot, volumes to Trevor Whitman. Justin Gaethje willingness to change. Change his style, train differently, train better. I was gonna be more proud of someone I don't even know. It was just crazy. 180, different turn, still a violent guy, just tuning a couple things. Amazing, just amazing. And you have to give props to Tony Ferguson. He didn't have to take this fight. He didn't have to. He said, "I'll wait for Khabib. I don't care." He didn't have to take this fight, but he did. That's what champions do. That's what good fighters do. And I feel for him, man. I just gotta feel for Tony, man. Because guys, supposed to fight Khabib 5 times. There's 5 different occasions. I don't think this fight's gonna happen anymore. And I said that a few podcasts ago, a few episodes ago. This it doesn't happen in the last time. It's not going to happen now. It just won't happen. You got to feel for Tony Ferguson. But then guy seems to be in good spirit. He's up and dancing. He's going to need surgery on his face. But man, I can't, Tony Ferguson's a lifer, man. You got to, Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje, Dana White, all lifers, Sports Plus lifers. Just mad props to Tony Ferguson, man. Dude, I don't know too many people who would have withstood what he did. I said this after the fight. One of my friends texted me, one of my friends that, has been around Tony Ferguson. I go, dude, I don't know what it is about him, but I'm pretty sure Tony Ferguson has a cure for COVID-19 because you couldn't kill him. It took the ref to stop the fight. Just couldn't kill him. You just couldn't put him away, dude. I think Tony Ferguson got dropped a couple times in that fight. Bad. And he recovered. The guy's a crazy dude. I wish you guys could have seen it. If you guys didn't see it, you missed out. Check it out if you haven't. Well, what's next? What's next for both these fighters? So Tony Ferguson, when he recovers, let's see a fight with Dustin Poirier. Maybe another fight with Conor McGregor. Let's see if McGregor could put away this guy. Let's see if all that shit talking he could back up against someone like Tony Ferguson. You saw what Tony Ferguson withstood this weekend, if you saw. Maybe in a fight with Dustin Poirier. Who knows? I don't know what's next. Dustin Poirier is supposed to be fighting Dan Hangman. What's his name? Dan Page? Can't remember his name. I always get it wrong, but anyways. Yeah. We are I don't know what's next for Tony Ferguson. Hopefully heal up. We just gotta heal up, man. He's been training since November. And no fights have happened. He's like, he got sick of waiting, and he's like, well, I'm gonna take this fight. And got beat up. I think he lost all 5 rounds. He lost the fight, but also lost every round too, I believe. If you give him any round, it probably would have been the first round if it were to go to decision, but it didn't matter at the end. At the end, it doesn't even matter. What's next for Justin Gaethje? Obviously, it's Khabib Nurmagomedov. The ego versus the highlight. It's gonna happen. You have to merge the titles. When that fight will happen, not sure. Khabib has gone on record tweeting out saying he'll be ready in July. I think it'll be later than that. I think maybe August, September. I think that's gonna be a very scary fight. The thing about Khabib, and we'll obviously definitely talk about this when the time comes. The thing about Khabib Nurmagomedov, is that he doesn't let the fight stay on the feet as long as someone like Tony Ferguson. He definitely goes for the takedowns. Now, it's not, he didn't go to Olympics. Justin Gaethje didn't go to Olympics. Khabib didn't go to Olympics. So the level of wrestling, I don't know where they're at as far as compared to the two. Justin Gaethje, we all know, is an All-American, Division I All-American, won state high school twice. There's levels. I don't know Khabib's levels. So we'll see how this fight plans out. We'll see if he's able to take down someone like Justin Gaethje and keep him down. We'll see if Justin Gaethje is able to land the shots he wants to land on someone like Khabib. Khabib is a tough dude. We'll see. It'll all plan out, but that's what's next. That's what you're going to see in the lightweight division. But overall, amazing fights, amazing card, lived up to expectation. Fight of the night, obviously, was Justin Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson, rightfully so. Knockout performance of the night, Justin Gaethje and Francis Ngannou, rightfully so. That was it, man. I couldn't believe it. I just could not believe these cards. Amazing cards. And it was an amazing card. And we're going at it again Wednesday. Today being Monday. Wednesday, you got Lionheart. What's his name? I always forget his name. Lionheart Smith. Glover Teixeira versus... Oh, my God. This is pissing me off. Anthony Smith. I want to call it Tony, but it's Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith, which should be a banger. Both guys love to stand. Both good strikers. Glover taking some pretty bad knockouts. But that knockout of Anthony Johnson was pretty bad. I think he lost to Verdum. I can't remember. Let me take a look here. It's going to bother the shit out of me if I don't look. What fight is this? UFC Fight Night. By the way, UFC Fight Night. Great. This is what I just had pulled up. Oh, no, hold on. Yeah. Come on, Rodriguez. Fight Night. Glover. Take out his record. Glover. Damn, this fight has been canceled twice. One submission. He's on 3-fight winning streak. He's beaten Carl Robinson, Ian Kutaleba, tough dude, by submission, and then Nikita Krylov. So he was undefeated in 2019. Lost to Corey Anderson in 2018. Who did he get knocked out by? Oh, that's right. Gustafsson in round 5. I remember that fight. And then Anthony Johnson fucked him. Killed him, and then he beat up Rashad Evans. That's bad. But yeah, that fight I think is going to be a very good fight. Great main event. Anthony Smith has a rebound from the fight. 1 against John Bones, and 2 the intruder that came into his house last month. Some crackhead, some dude that was on crack. And Anthony Smith, if you guys check this out, go check it out. I think it was on ESPN. The dude was eating everything Anthony Smith was given. Anthony Smith's 205 pounds, like 6'3", maybe 6'3", 6'4", 205 pounds. Is what he weighs. Probably weighs a whole lot more, 6'4". And just, world-class athlete, striker, fighter. And you couldn't put away this 170-pound crack kid. Dude, crack, it's a different drug, man. Different drug. Glover Teixeira versus Anthony Smith, bangers. Ovince St. Preux versus Ben Rothwell. Ben Rothwell, very awkward fighter. Comes at you with different angles. Tough dude. Will take, any shot. Ovince St. Preux moving up from 205 pounds to heavyweight, should be the quicker fighter. Former Tennessee volunteer football player, a Q dog. we'll see, man. He should be the quicker fighter going up in heavyweight. You never know, man. He's suffered some pretty big losses too, pretty big knockouts. So if he gets touched at heavyweight, man, heavyweight's a little bit different as far as power goes. And my fight of the night: Drew Dober versus Alexander Hernandez. Just watch. That's all I gotta say. Just watch that fight. It's gonna be free. I think it's gonna be on ESPN Plus. Check it out. It's only like $5 a month. Get it for the month. Cancel it. $5. That's all. You could watch Peyton Manning's places. You could watch Detail, Kobe Bryant's Detail. Now it's DC Cormier does Detail. Peyton Manning does the Detail. Obviously, you get Kobe Bryant, and you have right now they're doing the Bulls 1998 Detail. I don't know who's all doing it, dude. Those are very, very cool. You got to watch it. Carl Roberson, we just talked about, versus Marvin Vittori, and then on the undercard, if I remember right, I pressed the wrong thing. Prelims right here. Andre Arlovski, the veteran, versus Felipe Lins. Andre Arlovski, two-time UFC champion. I think Strikeforce champion, if I'm not mistaken. Was it M1? I can't remember what it was. Michael Johnson versus Thiago Moses. Is Thiago Moses the guy who beat... No. I thought I was going to say that was the guy who beat up Anthony Pettis, but I'm not sure. So, Ciara Eubanks versus Sarah Moraes, Gabriel Benavides versus Morales Ferrero, Bella Keller versus Hunter Azur, and Chase Sherman versus Isaac Villanueva. I call him Mike because that's what you call people, Isaac. That's going to be an interesting fight. Starts the card off, heavyweights, bangers. You guys have you ever seen heavyweights? Look at the heavyweights. You already know what they do. They love to fight, love to knock people out. But that's a lot, man. It's a very heavy UFC mixed martial arts card because that's what we have to talk about right now. As far as life goes, that's all that life is. Other than Call of Duty Warzone, which you can find me on Twitch streaming right after I'm done with this. I think I'm going to do 4 streams this week. Twitch.tv/MRAKACO. Find me on MRAKACO, Instagram and Twitter. Sports Plus Life on Instagram and Twitter. And YouTube, Sports Plus Life. I gave up on TikTok. If you guys are asking, none of you give a shit. It's one of those fads, man. Like Vine. Then they had something else after that. It's just one of those things. Not for me. I decided it wasn't for me. You got to know when to fold. And by the way, rest in peace, Kenny Rogers. Rest in peace, little Richard, who we just lost. Rest in peace, Ben Stiller's Jerry Stiller, who just passed away today, actually. Know that we lost a lot of people over the weekend, which is very unfortunate. And today we lost, in the sports world, of soccer world, the Italia League, to be specific, a soccer player, 19 years old, passed away from a brain aneurysm doing training at home. Very, very unfortunate. And there's a lot more people dying of COVID-19, coronavirus. So, just be aware. Just be aware. Be careful. Be safe. Go ahead and like, subscribe, share, hit all the bells, and catch me next time. Check out the baby podcast I just recorded yesterday. I'll leave it in the description. Try to find the Twister description. Try to leave the Twister demonstration in this description. Try saying that 5 times fast. That's it, man. That's all I got for you. Look out for a whole lot more announcements coming up regarding the NBA season, MLB season, soccer, obviously starting out, the Bundesliga starting up, and the Premier League. So look out, man. Sports are on the way back, and hopefully sports are on the way back, and more people don't get senselessly killed by this damn virus and by random hillbillies. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you guys for liking, and holler at me. Drop me a line, old school style. I love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll catch you guys on the next Sports Plus Live podcast, episode number 46.